video to
Bye. Alright, we're live on Facebook.
Eric.
And we are live on both.
Sweet.
We're up.
Got to give everyone a couple minutes to get in here, and there is a delay.
Let's do it.
Jeff's here. See that? You want to quiet down your audio there, Bo?
Yeah.
Is that delay in case Tim starts swearing?
Yeah. quick, mute it. Tyler Vogt. Colin Morris.
Interesting. Colin Morris is there.
I recognize that name.
Mm-hmm.
Is he usually in here?
Yeah, no. He's got a 40th edition Grand Prix with a Z7 kit and an ST5 cam. Been here for dyno days.
Burgundy one?
Yeah. Burgundy. 40th.
Yeah.
Let us know if you can hear us okay, and we will get started. Sounds like they can, because nobody's complaining. Well, anyways, we're talking about Grand Prix today. So,
3800s today.
oh, 3800s.
Yes.
I know there's some of the lesser guys that get a little upset when they're not included in the 3800s.
Yeah, you got to have some love for the Bonnevilles and the Firebirds and Camaros. And...
Well, what about the pre-gen?
The
Let's
LeSabres.
not talk about those.
So anyways, I guess we'll start around the room. Basically, we're talking about Grand Prix 3800s. Why people mod them, why they still mod them, and pretty broad topic, so let's go around the room.
Turn on Matt's.
I turned him up a little bit.
I guess I'll start it off. I mean,
Yeah.
The Grand Prix is a pretty amazing car. I mean, think about the horsepower the car has, the gas mileage the car gets,
The cost.
and the cost of the vehicle, and
First
I
of
don't know,
all,
did I mention gas mileage? Like gas mileage, horsepower, like drivability, comfort. I mean,
Reliability.
It's still a very valid car.
Who are you? What do you do here? Brief introduction.
I'm Tim, Turbo Tim from ZZPerformance.
We got Eric behind the camera as usual. You only me, Trevor, to my left. And we got Matt here. Rare occurrence on the podcast. What do you do here?
Engineering, racing, tuning.
Yep.
Or depending on
everything.
the right person you talk to online, nothing.
Yeah.
Just nothing.
Nothing.
Has that been going around lately?
Of course. Everybody's like, oh, they're hire more people. You guys aren't working.
I just wash my race car every day. That's it.
I
Just
wish
watch
you did that.
Just out there buffing the whole day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Building a 3800 Camaro Turbo with ST5 cam. Can't wait to get it finished.
Sounds
we can't
good.
either.
Yeah.
You know what? One crazy thing is that there's a ton of those right now. Like, I have like 4 pending tunes with turbo Camaros and Firebirds right now. So, those guys aren't as quick to responding with scans as the other cars.
Oh, really?
But yeah, I've got a bunch of them right now. So I kind of regret, like, we had a 3800 Firebird turbo kit, and we designed it. It was nice, and then I think the guys forgot how to make it, and then we just dropped it. And then now I bet you it'd probably sell like crazy.
Yeah.
There's just a cheap eBay one that they offer, and a lot of people have to modify the heck out of it.
Typical.
It's like all fab work and everything has to be redone.
Basically get the manifolds out of it. Yeah.
Turn up Bo's mic.
Yep. I just turned him up a little bit more.
We're on extremes today.
Drew Smith. My Impala is better than my 3800. That was like one of the worst experiences driving of my life. Driving Drew's 4-cylinder Impala.
Like a newer one?
Yeah. Like, I don't know, it's like a teens plus. And he was in his supercharged vet that ran like mid-9s. And I'm following him in his Impala. He punches it. I was floored for like a mile to get up to the speed limit in that car.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Terrible.
Sorry about my audio. I turned
Yeah,
it
so
down.
how about we talk about how everybody got into a 3800?
Yeah, let's start it out here. We got 2 of the OGs in the 38 market. We got Matt and Tim here, who beginning as ZZP 3800s, and then Bo, kind of a new blood 3800 owner. So I guess
I think that's a Matt story.
yeah, Matt first.
Matt was touch 3800s for me.
Well,
Was the-
it was Zoom.
Black car your first car even? Your first 3800?
Yeah. Yeah, well, Zoom leased a 99 right when it came out. And I drove that when it was brand new, and it was pretty amazing.
Brand new car.
especially at that time. It was a really nice car, and he started modding it, and yeah, then I picked up my GT because we wanted to go that route too, and $6,000 for a '97, but
So you got it when it was like 5-ish years old or something like that, probably, or older
3.
than that. Oh, really?
3 years
Wow.
Wow.
That's a good deal.
Yeah, because that was before ZZP started.
Right.
Did they
So
just
it's about
plummet in
2000.
value that fast, or did you find a crazy good deal somewhere?
It was a bare model cloth interior
Oh.
GT. 100,000 on it. It's about right. So just had to go to Ohio to get it, or Indiana or something. But
Did you daily it for a while then, before it was full race car?
Yeah, what was your first mod?
centrifugal kit. It was the first thing that we did when we bought it.
Probably one of the first boosted GTs aside from M90, I would imagine.
There was one guy with a turbo, but nobody really knew much about it. But yeah, we put the centrifugal kit on it, some drag radials, no intercooler, stock motor. I think I threw a VS cam in it, and it was already going 12.3, like
Which
right off
is-
the bat.
Which is an impressive number
Which
to this day.
a week earlier would have been faster than any GTP, except Zoom had just gone faster than that. But he had ported heads and
Yeah, engine.
you
pulled
know
apart.
all kinds of stuff done to his.
So it was the fastest stock engine right off the bat.
Yep. And he was running slicks. So I mean, it was basically an afternoon of mods and go run 12.3 with no intercooler.
Crazy. Do you
Yeah.
remember what power that was at? Do you
We
know?
didn't dyno
we
very
didn't.
much back
Yeah,
then.
we didn't have a dyno.
Access to one to just throw
So
things
we
on?
didn't even have a building
So
at
it's
that time.
just
So
whatever your strip time was, that was...
yeah, pretty much, or drive to Detroit to get on a dyno
Wow.
because we had to go to Detroit for tuning. 'Cause
Really?
we didn't. There was no tuners.
Just drove the car all the way over there?
Yeah.
Rented a dyno or something?
Yeah, digital horsepower.
Dave probably, right? Dave Buckshaw?
Yep.
Back then? Yeah, we've all three of us have made all four of us at the time had made the trip out to Dave Buckshaw's house and hung out with him and the family, and we'd go tune the cars and
Wow.
drive back home.
Yep.
Did you ever have anything go wrong on the dyno and have to tow anything home?
Yeah, I think Zoom's car might have broke on the dyno way back in the day once.
House's car, busted flywheel. Was making 400 non-intercooled though. We were pushing it hard.
See, that's the crazy thing is it seems like you guys made a lot more horsepower than the guys do now.
Well-
And a lot of that may just be because the cars were so new and the parts weren't worn yet. I don't know. But like 400 on no intercooler these days, people can't even make 400 with an intercooler.
It was aluminum heads.
Yeah.
It was a lot. It was a lot of mods. I mean, it was everything we could throw at it
Yeah.
to get there.
Yeah.
Think they're gonna hide beer from me?
So we got one guy in here. He's asking about the HP3 insert.
I need your help real quick.
We're working on it. This summer, hopefully, they'll be back in stock.
HV3s you're asking about?
What do you want to know?
I don't think we have an ETA on that yet.
Yeah, I was just talking to Tim Killing about it the other day, and he said hopefully by this summer.
Oh,
Sometime
perfect.
this summer.
There you go.
Think you
Sounds
could
like-
3D print those?
Yeah, should hold up.
So I guess I'll talk while Tim's out right now. I'll talk about how I got into the 3800s, and that was just basically just being in high school and wanting a first car and seeing everybody running around with the Grand Prix, and it seemed like the cool thing to do at the time.
So was it your first car?
It was not my first car. First car was a '93 Geo Tracker, and I and drove that for a year or two, and then took out a loan on my red car. And that
Really?
that was the first car I ever bought. Was my '01 Special Edition.
Wow.
I wanted a Special Edition, and I wanted a two-door, and it had to be red. So came across that on Marketplace one day and scooped it up, drove it for a little bit, and chipped the piston like everybody does. You know, too small of a pulley, not knowing what you're doing at the time, and then that just snowballed from there.
You want to give all the viewers a quick rundown on how to mod a Grand Prix?
Yeah,
Start with the pulley, right?
No. Pulleys are going to be the last thing. The first thing you're going to do is get some exhaust flowing out of it, get a good fuel in it, and then go from there.
What was that car's first setup even? It was blower car still.
Yeah, it was
For the-
just 1.9 rockers and Gen 5.
Yeah.
And then after that, went XP cam and kind of full. M90.
Then you basically just cleaned that car up for a while, rocked it, and then you got the Regal.
Yep.
After that.
Oh, I drove that. I had that just till about a year ago, and had a couple other W bodies in between. But
Never modded them.
oh yeah, they're all modded. My first Regal was a 3.4 car, power logs, and just 1.0 tune that Tim did, and E85. That was a daily. Put 20,000 miles on that until and some lady pulled out in front of me, and I smashed it. Tahoe pulled out in front of me in the winter.
Were the parts still good, or?
Yeah, it was, parts were still good. It just needed a front core support, pulled a little bit, and a bumper. But, a good friend of mine bought it and fixed it up, and he's still rocking it or sold it. I can't even remember. Yep, haven't seen it since, though.
I know the Regal.
Yeah, and then this Regal came along
Where's that
last
at right
year
now?
after I was all out of W bodies. I was out of the 3800 scene completely for about 3 months, and I was just itching. And a good friend in Wisconsin posted this for the car for sale. And I was like, all right, I'll get another Regal. And then the rest is history. And I'm actually really glad I got that car, because if I didn't get that car, I probably wouldn't have my job here. I had a Chevy pickup, and I was bound and determined to go LS. The rest is history. I'm actually really glad I got that car, because if I didn't get that car, I probably wouldn't have my job here. You know, that 3800. I had it got me still. So
Why not 3800 in a dune truck?
maybe we're working on it. I got
Maybe one day.
S10.
I always kind of thought about doing that as well.
Yeah,
I
I
always like the old S10 Extremes.
Yeah,
And
I'd
maybe
really
the
like a
3800.
4-wheel drive S10 with a 3800 would be cool.
Steve was talking about that for his Jeep the other day. I don't know why, but he was.
Yeah, they're cheap, make good power, available mods. I mean, if you look on Marketplace these days, you can get a good long block for $200-300. I mean, the engine that I had in my red car last was a 95,000 mile L36 that I picked up for $200. The guy pulled it out in his yard, and I bought it. Just trusted that it was a 1,000 mile L36 that I picked up for $200. The guy pulled it out in his yard, and I bought it. 6 dyno days, and was a good reliable engine. You don't always need to build an extravagant bottom end for these cars.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
I mean, your car is
What's
still...
in your car?
Well, my fastest time was on a stock bottom end.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
there's guys in Australia that have gone 7s on them.
Yeah.
I mean, and
hard
the
to
only
believe.
reason that Matt's engine is not 100% stock junkyard bottom end is because he had a nitrous mishap and melted a hole through the block.
Yeah.
You know, so he was like, well, I'm in there. I might as well put forged pistons. So,
Yeah.
you know, now it does, but
Well, we needed to test our
Yeah.
forged setup, so
yeah.
it's like
It's a good car to test it in, for sure.
So, Matt, did you have more after the black one, or did you strictly build the black one into
I had a red
full-blown
one.
car?
I had a red one that was just light mods, test a couple parts, daily driver, and a Monte Carlo.
Did you like the Monte Carlo or no?
Yeah, it was a nice car.
Yeah?
We got that one a year old,
Yeah,
2001.
my lightly modded Regal before the one I have now, I really enjoyed just the 3.4 pulley, full bolt-ons, and E85. Like, that was such a good daily.
Yeah.
You know, like, just fun, not gonna hurt anything, reliable. You know, do the intake gaskets, and
JPL is a big fan of yours.
yeah,
I don't know if you got your coilovers yet, but we're excited to see you
he did get them.
rocking those. You get them in yet? Let us know when you do. We want to know how those go.
Matt's Monte Carlo actually ran, what was your best time in that car?
11.2.
Yeah.
That's super fast.
Yeah. Centrifugal.
really?
You know, that was another centrifugal car. You know, high stall converter, typical ZZP trans.
Had the bigger blower on it, like a low 1.5, 60 foot. Ripped off 11.2, racing a Mustang, just barely got him. It was a pretty good race.
Was that like a Terminator Mustang, that era?
Like a 90.
Oh, like Fox Body, something.
Yeah, we were out at Milan that day. You were there too, and it was the magic weather day.
Yeah.
30.6 barometer, 40 degrees, negative 2,000 DA.
Bad day for dyno guys, but good day for track
Great day
guys.
for the track. Track was sticking. Those
Is
are-
that how that goes? Is it worse on the dyno when it's hotter?
Well, the dyno corrects your time. your horsepower. But at the track, if you get a 30.6 day, like you're running times.
Yeah.
Like today, we dynoed a customer Sonic, and it was 30.3, and I'm like, oh wow, that's up there. The correction factor was 92, so taking 8% of what he made.
So Tim, your first
Yeah.
car.
Onto the cars you
Why we
have.
call you Turbo Tim?
Yeah, basically, pretty sure I told the story before on here, but Zoom was like, hey, I need you in a Grand Prix. You're a big car mod guy. You're gonna be a better employee having a 3800 car.
Yeah.
And he was like, what do I gotta do to get you in one? And he, basically gave me a raise enough to pay for the car. So I went out. I actually got the nicest, lowest mileage car that we had. In like while we were heavily modifying, because I guess Zoom's lease car was brand new. But yeah, mine was like 60,000 miles, Burgundy GT, super clean. And then Matt came to me and he was like, "Hey, you're turbo guy. Can I build a turbo kit for this thing?" And I was like, "Yup." So that's where the Turbo Tim came from. And
What
that
was
car,
the first turbo you put on it?
it was like a 60-1
Yep.
old T3 turbo, I believe the first one
Yeah,
was.
cheap turbo, effective.
Matt made the turbo kit, and we didn't have enough wastegate on it, and I wasn't paying enough attention, and it boost crept down the entrance ramp, and I ended up chipping a piston. And this is where the funny story gets around at the shop of I like swapped my piston in overnight, and then we went to the dyno the next day, and it made 417 wheel. Like I think it was the highest horsepower 3800.
Two dyno pulls in to a brand new build, and it was the highest power 3800 that there was
It was the
on
whole
stock cam.
the whole build was like 3 days old or something, right?
Yeah,
It was like a
getting dialed
day.
in.
I chipped a piston because that was all my fault. That was before widebands were affordable.
Yeah.
So I just get on the entrance ramp and just floor it, not scanning because we relied on DHP back then, so we didn't scan it ourselves really. And then swap that piston in the shop. Like I think I had your old piston from your GT that had like 180,000 miles on it, and Matt's like, here's this. And we just kind of like reused the rings for my piston on his piston and reused my rod and just threw it in there. Just one bank, one cylinder swap. Didn't even hone it. And made 417. And then I went to the track and ran, I think you remember like 11?
I know it was high 11s right away on street tires.
Yeah, because I went to the track and I was like, I think I'm going to run 11s. And everybody was like, nah. And I ran 1196 at like 119, I think, on Toyo Proxy 225 40 18s.
Nice.
And that was a good day. Like,
Yeah, that just really shows how efficient the turbo is over the blower. Like you said, stock cam, and it was the highest horsepower 3800 to date just by
Zoom had cracked 400 barely after months and months and months of throwing everything at it, and Tim just goes in there, makes like 360, do another pull, 417. Just like
So
that
was
was
the turning
that was
point of just,
easy.
like, everything's servo over mirror, pretty much.
If you want to make big power,
Yeah.
yeah, blowers are fun, but you're giving up, 40 to 60 horsepower
Just
spinning that darn blower.
Yeah.
not to mention the heat that comes with it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's turbos sound better too. Well, I mean, kind of.
Depends.
We'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, somebody's working on a video we might be able to release today for you guys to slip in this in the middle of this podcast.
Yeah,
Tyler.
3800s aren't sounding the same around here.
Yes.
Can we play this?
Yeah,
Tyler did it. Tyler
Let's,
pulled it off.
they all sound turboed now.
So basically, this is going to be a sneak peek, like a sound clip of the exhaust project we're working on. To give you guys a little backstory on the car, it's a 05 Grand Prix GT that we just threw stuff that's been sitting in the corners collecting dust on. You know, it's a RPM XP cam.
Yeah, that's what started it. We wanted us to run our XP in a car around here.
And then stage 2 intercooler. You know, we supercharged it. And this car has our standard power logs front and rear and our standard off-the-shelf
Catback.
non-resonated catback on it. We did think that it was a little loud without a resonator, but the sound
Certainly
is amazing.
bearable, for sure.
Yeah, like the thunder drone is gone, so it's just loud when cruising now.
Yes.
But you can't complain if it's good loud. So.
Yeah,
Exactly. It is a good loud.
yeah.
And the best part is all of the parts are, you know, I mean, we go ahead and just give the people the clip.
just play.
It's like you guys may or may not hear it. I'm not sure, so just stand by.
We're gonna try. Eric.
Go ahead and just give the people the clip.
just play.
It's like you guys may or may not hear it. I'm not sure.
Let us know that.
Just stand by.
Let us know. We're gonna try. Eric.
Go ahead and just give the people the clip.
just play.
It's like you guys may or may not hear it. I'm not sure.
Let us know that.
Just stand by.
Let us know. We're gonna try. Eric.
Go ahead and just give the people the clip.
just play.
It's like you guys may or may not hear it. I'm not sure.
Let us know that.
Just stand by.
Let us know. We're gonna try. Eric.
Go ahead and just give the people the clip.
play.
It's like you guys may or may not hear it. I'm not sure.
Let us know that. Let us. We're gonna try. We'll wait for the comment.
Everybody
Go ahead and just give the people the clip.
play.
It's like you guys.
Oh, did I just hear it? I thought I did.
I'm not sure.
Well, either way, it sounds magical. We got a thumbs up.
Yeah.
You guys will hear more videos of it soon.
Yeah.
And it'll work with your stock catback even. Like if you have a stock catback, it'll work with that. If you any catback you have, it'll work with that. It's basically just a new downpipe that is going to completely change how the 3800 sounds completely.
For sure. It's cool because it's kind of rather simple, really.
Super simple.
It's gonna be something that,
Bolt in,
yeah, and it
still maintain your ground clearance.
Not going to be really all that expensive either, right?
No.
Shouldn't be?
no, it shouldn't be very expensive.
Sounds like they didn't hear it.
He says we just heard your voices again on loop.
Well,
That's all good.
we can at least put the video on YouTube at least, and you guys can hear it, and then we'll release a better video here soon.
Can we play it on the phone next
I got
to the speaker? Just
I got
see
it.
if they can hear it
Yeah.
slightly.
This is gonna be so bad.
But yeah, while he's pulling that up, you obviously had hundreds more 3800s, right?
Oh man, I've had a lot of 3800s.
Or was that the end of the first one? Did you just rock it at that power? And
Yeah,
That was
I ended up I ran it for a few years and sold it.
Turbo ever? Or?
Yeah,
Okay.
we swapped some exhaust housings, you know, just dialing in the turbo kit. I ended up selling the car, and then that guy sent it back, and then we ended up revising the turbo kit and giving it back to him with another like 60 or 70 wheel horsepower, and that guy, I guess, is like one of those big street racers for money.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he just you know would show up to the spot and race for a few $100 or whatever, and that car, like I said, I mean, on the Toyo Proxies, it ran 11.9, like at the drag strip, just playing with your foot.
So
Yeah.
for a street car, that's perfect.
I love street racing a 3800, but you either get the guys who are too cool for you, or you get the guys who know it's gonna be fast.
Yeah, that
You know, they
definitely became an issue around Grand Rapids.
Yeah.
I couldn't race anybody in any car.
Uh-huh.
It's like, well, I know what that is. That's a ZZP car. It's my red bone stock one, you know.
Yeah.
Or like a power log on a GT. I'm not racing that. I know about ZZP.
Yeah. They're either too cool to get beat
Yeah.
by a
All along,
3800 or just don't even bother. All right, I got it right here. We'll see if you guys can hear something.
The video does not do it justice, but
We'll just
Hold on.
yeah.
It's all good.
We'll have a video soon. We're working on it, so.
But like I mentioned in a previous podcast, moving forward with 3800 progression for ZZPerformance, like there's not an area of the W body that we're not working on. You know,
Yeah.
as far as valve train, exhaust, suspension, it's it's definitely still always at the top of our list for progressing in some way or another.
Yeah,
what's
we're not like the other vendors. I mean, we're still producing new and better products for the platform. I don't know why other vendors do it, but other vendors just drop products, and that's not really our way. And I think that's why we succeed as well as we do, is that we don't forget about everybody. I mean, we're not dropping products. I noticed somebody mentioned HV3. We really are working on the HV3, but since we're bringing production 100% in-house, we had a shop that was like a couple doors down from us making the HV3 before, and now we are actually producing it 100% in-house. So like we had to
That stuff takes time.
completely do the design on the product, and obviously when we redesign a new product, it has to be better than the last one, because not being as good as the last one is unacceptable. So we should have something shortly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a big seller for us and something we haven't forgotten about.
Yeah.
There's an easy question. Thoughts on twin charging W bodies?
Why? It's a 3.8 liter. You could put a big turbo on it and it makes good power. Why would you put a blower on it and slow it down? We did it on Zoom's car,
Yeah.
and then we pulled the blower off, and
The only
Maybe they
reason I
make
would do
more
it
power.
is just because, the ease of not swapping the intake manifold. But that's not that hard to do.
It does work, but you're throwing in a lot of complication for
Yeah.
maybe no reason.
Simplicity is
Yeah.
always key.
I don't remember. Did we have a problem with blowing the bypass seals out on a 3800? We had that.
I don't think so.
That was a Cobalt problem.
Yeah, probably, but they're running more boost.
Because that video of Zoom's GTP versus that diesel truck, that video, I believe, has a bunch of likes. And that's a pretty fun video. I even watch it every once in a great while because it's a neat video. That was his car with a twin charge kit on it.
Yeah,
What
we
a-
we almost didn't get that video.
Right?
Yeah.
The tape ran out. That's back when you had to use
The
tape.
tape ran out.
Literally was a tape. And she quick rewound it while he was staging and started recording, and it ended again like 1 second after the board lit up, 997.
The fastest pass
Yeah.
the car ever made.
Yep.
Well, I couldn't
That was a
imagine.
Gen 3 M90 with a T72,
Yep.
right? Yeah.
So
Burnout
Matt,
King.
No wheelie bar. Still a very streetable car.
Zoom drove his a while, right? When he was modding and everything, it was pretty much his daily for a long time.
Yeah.
My
Yep.
understanding. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Like, pull it in, do a bunch of stuff, drive it home, and
Oh, yeah.
test it out.
Yeah, so the coilovers are available now. Those are really cool.
Yeah, what else do we got new?
What's really great about the coilovers is we had a guy who was in Michigan and he ordered them and he received them like the next day. And where at BC you're literally 3 weeks to more out.
And if BC ever shuts down or takes a break or
Yeah.
does whatever they do,
Right in house we can ship
It's
them
out of
out
our
next,
hands.
the same day, depending on how early your order gets in. And they perform well. And they're red, so they got to be cool.
they are right.
Someone want to comment on that L26 turbo
Yeah,
build?
I was gonna say L32 versus L30 or 26 for a turbo build. Yeah, it's L32 hands down. That L26 rod, that powdered rod, is way too weak. With a
nice and light,
supercharger, it might be okay. If you make maybe 350 wheel or something, but if you make 400 wheel, that L26 rod is gonna be in two pieces.
Yeah, they handle
Plus you got a little bit lower
running
compression
12s
with the L32.
at best. Where the L32 is what we ran to the 8s.
Yeah.
Not even
That's a pretty
comparable.
big difference.
Now L36, that's fine.
When you put it like that, it really
L36 is fine. That's NA. That's just that's
Yeah.
2004 and older, because 2004 Grand Prix have an L36 in them still. L26 is actually 2006 and up, or 2005 and up. So yeah, an L36 is fine.
yeah, great engine.
That works great.
Yeah, you got the little bit of extra compression too, which is great for a blower.
I see JPL. I talk to that guy almost daily through email. I am planning on a power log header project in the near future.
Yeah.
Probably like the goal is to make an equal length shorty header for the 3800 that's affordable. So that is in our future. I wouldn't say near future, but in
Yes.
the future.
Does the HV3 make more horsepower?
Yeah, the HV3 is well, Tim always explains this well. It's up top.
Yeah, it's weird. You kind of have to draw it out, but the new one is probably not going to make more power than the old one. It'll just be nicer, install better. It only makes like 9 more horsepower at 5,600, which is the stock peak RPM horsepower. But what's cool, instead of the power just falling off to nothing with the stock inserts in, the HV3 kind of lets it carry out.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's only maybe 9 horsepower at 5,600, but it's like 20 horsepower at 6,000. Mm-hmm. And with a 3,800 having such a wide gear ratio between each gear,
You can really use it.
it's very beneficial to rev that car out another 2, 3, maybe 4, 400 RPM more, because your average power at full throttle is higher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and speaking of revving out, we got some cool retainers coming too that we're testing out with that RPM cam.
Yes. The titanium retainers didn't really work out. They don't longevity. They wear out and the lock starts to pull through the thing. So that's why we dropped them like 2, 3, 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. But we have a new lightweight steel retainer coming out, and that is, I wish I had weight numbers on it, but it's significantly lighter.
I think it's titanium weight with steel cost.
Cool.
Yeah, and it's like you mentioned, the longevity. Everybody builds a 3800 and to put miles on them normally, and that's going to be a real key. So if you put 30,000 miles on your XP cam build and you got a lightweight retainer in there, you're not going to have to worry about it pulling through.
Yep.
You don't really build a 3800 to refresh it every year.
No. No. No, and lightweight valve train is key with the 3800 because, like I mentioned before, you can't run enough valve spring in a 3800. Mm-hmm. The spring pocket's too small. The rocker bolt is too small. So, I mean, every ounce you can remove from your moving valve train is huge, because every 3800 is rev limited by valve train weight, which it ends up in valve flow. So if you lighten the rocker, with our ZZP rockers, if you lighten the retainer, you can rev the car out more, and that's where more power is. Because the 3800, it's not like it wants to shut down at 5,600.
Certainly not.
It's just that's where they start to do weird harmonic
Just handicapped.
valve spring, valve float things.
Chris Mercedante says, "No way, Matt put together my kit." I don't know if you recognize the name. But
Of course.
he also says,
There's a big name in that.
Don't
market.
forget to mention Zoom shopping cart wing.
Oh, man. Zoom's car was such a ricer when he first had it.
Yeah, Chris actually let us borrow his slicks to run Kalo's car down at Pink's, because he showed up for the race and didn't have any slicks. So Chris bailed us out and gave us some slicks to run for the weekend.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That is cool.
It's an expendable item there. I mean, that's a lot of money per pass.
Yeah.
So if he just donated them without getting paid, that's pretty sweet.
We all wish we had that friend at the track to just lend us tires.
For sure.
This guy says, "Why drive a 3800 easy? You only have 300 in your bank account." You can probably almost get it running and driving 3800 for $300 these days.
I'm sure it's
Might
been
not
done.
look good, but it'll be 3800.
Yep.
Yeah.
Those rockers will be in a U shape because there's no metal behind them anymore.
Yeah.
But
I just seen a Regal at the gas station today, and it's just.
There's not a lot of clean ones up here anymore in Michigan.
But back to the 3800. Like, think about this. I remember there were customers that had cars that ran 11s and got 30 miles to the gallon. You know me. I just bought a Sonic. I love Sonics, but you're not running 11s in a Sonic and getting 30 miles to the gallon still. I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen. But you can do that with your GTP, your SSCI, your GS, GSX. You can do that. Mm-hmm. But you can do it with an NA car with a turbo kit on it still.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of engine.
I think that's always been my most favorite part about 3800 is how versatile it is. and how readily available parts are and how easy it is to work on. Like, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to do absolutely any repair on a 3800. It's super easy. I mean, a water pump you can do in probably 20 minutes if you got a standard socket set in your garage.
Yep. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
It's a very easy engine to work on. A great car to to learn how to work on a car.
Yeah, that's really what I always enjoyed about it, going through college, having to drive to college every day, having a Regal that was reliable, and if something did go wrong, I can just go to the local parts store, they got parts, or ZZP's got parts, So it was convenient to have something that I could count on, and if I did need to wrench on it at night when I got home, it wasn't a big deal.
You think you're going to take yours to Tail of Dragon this year, too?
I'd really like to. Yeah. I'd really like to.
It's out of the Ion, right?
If I can keep that transmission cool. It's got a good 40K cooler on it now, but maybe add a fan to it. I don't know.
Let's get a race hood and vent the hood, and then problem solved.
We don't need a race hood to vent the hood.
Oh, okay. I like it.
It actually got a couple real bad stone chips from a dang semi I was following in the fall anyway, so I got no problem poking a hole in it. But, yeah, and it doesn't have performance shift, but I know you can add it. And I was thinking if we added performance shift, I could have a separate shift table that would keep me in the right gear during the tail.
This is old memory, but pin 21 comes to mind.
That's what I'm
Hopefully
saying.
somebody will jump in here. But
That's what I'm saying.
I think you ground pin 21 and there's performance shift. Obviously, you have to enable it with the power tuner, but...
Yeah, he's right.
No, pin 21? All right, I'll look into it.
It seems like a memory.
Yeah.
So either way, look it up on Identifix. Yeah, one wire.
And you Firebird guys, your second gear start in the PCM is a performance shift table.
Yeah.
So like I do it all the time for the F body guys. I'll make because who the hell wants second gear start? Like I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if you're totally winter beatering it, and I still wouldn't do it if I had it. I always
not the car to winter drive.
Yeah, terrible car.
Firebird.
So I just take the normal shift tables and I 1.0 them, let's say, performance them. And then I take that and I copy and paste it into the performance shift tables, the second gear start. And then I just add let's say 10% and then just kind of make the full throttle the same. So like when you click the second gear start, it just is that much more aggressive, sportier. That's basically what I would do for yours. Mm-hmm. Is just make it to where it hangs the gear longer, and it may be like downshifts even on a let up. So if the car drops below 25 miles an hour or whatever, it automatically upshifts to the next or downshifts to the next gear. Yeah. So it's ready to go.
Something we'll certainly play with.
Yeah.
To make sure that the transmission's happy during the
The
beating it's going to be taken.
JPL says, still waiting if Intense can use his heads. He sent his 3800 core heads to Intense in ZZP boxes.
Well, yeah, I saw the YouTube video.
Because we right now currently we don't sell good ported heads. Mm-hmm. Because I mean that's kind of on me. I just couldn't find head cores. You can't find 3800 head cores, and for us to do a CNC head, I mean I need to have like 20 head cores. Right. And I just can't find 20 head cores anymore. So it's like, But we do have a few aluminum heads that we'll be releasing, probably let's say in a month. Yeah. I think we have 2 sets of each, if I recall. So we'll have like 4
and that's
pair.
It, right?
That's it.
Forever.
That's it.
That's your last chance. So.
Yeah, 3,800 aluminum heads.
Yes.
Terrell says, where did he say that? Tim got all my 3800 builds running good. He also said the only thing that's hard to work on is cylinder 6 spark plug.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Doesn't bother me.
It's not bad.
Come on.
Once you get used to it.
The stock manifold cylinder 6, oh my gosh.
Sounds like you're doing something
Once you get used to it.
I mean, if you pull the dog bone, you pull the dog bone bolt and then you rock the car and you have somebody hit the parking brake, that helps. But, of course, I'm too impatient. Yeah. Like, everything's hot and I'm like, burning myself. I can't give this thing 15 minutes. Let's just get this done.
Change your plugs in the morning, dude.
It's my own fault.
Yeah. Oh.
Justin's got a turbo car getting 21 mpg at 422 wheel. See, that sounds pretty fun.
Oh, it can do better than that. Tell him to look into his converter. Make sure his converter's locking up at cruising speed.
Yeah, that's a really big thing. It seems like people
The converter not locking is 4 miles per gallon gone.
and overheating their transmission. Also.
That too, for sure. So, the easy test for those that don't know, and everybody should do this test on their 3800, is cruise down the highway at let's say, highway speed, and just while your foot is on the gas pedal holding a steady holding a steady speed, just take your other foot and just touch the brake pedal. Just touch it. Just enough to light the brake lights, but not
taparoo.
slow the car down.
Yep.
When you do that, you should see the RPM bump 2 to 400 RPM. If that bumps up and then slowly pulls back down, that means your converter's working. If it does not do that, that means you either have a code running in the background, the OSID of the PCM file is not right for the car, your converter clutches are worn out,
Yeah, because what you're
many
doing when you
things.
tap the brake is it releases the converter because it
Yes.
sees that.
It's like a PCM command if it
Yeah.
gets a brake light.
Yeah, because
Yeah. The torque
As soon as
converter
you hit the
clutches
brake
is
pedal
like a
switch.
manual tranny clutch. I mean, if the torque converter is not slipping, the car will stall when you're sitting at a
Yep.
traffic light. Well, when you accelerate from that traffic light and you hold and maintain a speed, that converter clutch rolls in there, gets rid of all the slippage of the converter, and then holds a steady speed, and that has the lightest load on the engine at that point. And if you're just sitting there slipping 200-300, 4 miles per gallon gone.
easily.
Oh, Al's in here. I got some dirt on Al. He wants to fight, but just the other day he was talking about a Trans Am rear drive 3800 he wanted. So calling you out, Al. You wanted one.
Al and I both. I just emailed it. One of the guys today, I just emailed him he emailed me some F-body questions, and I'm like, man, the one car that I've always wanted that I haven't owned yet.
I was just thinking the other day, I was like, man, I would like a rear-wheel drive 3800, and I'm like, what are my options? Oh, just a Firebird.
Yeah.
Literally one. Or a Camaro. There's only one. How
Is
is
that the Catfish Camaro? Is that what they call them?
Yeah, it's just, I guess with that. No, it's
They
not.
probably have the non-Cat Eye one too. They probably have the old one. Probably is the first year.
Yeah. I'm not
You
too up
have
to
the
date on my
98
Camaros, I
body
guess.
style change, and then you have the 97, and then that 3800 is in a 95 and 6, right?
96, I think.
96 at bare minimum, maybe a 95,
What,
maybe.
3400
what manual
before that.
transmission are those with?
That's 4L60. So still electronic. Not like the 97 front wheel drivers are not electronic unless you're
When you
supercharged.
say manual, I think it's a T5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the T5 if you're a manual tranny guy.
Yeah.
Both good options. Both a lot of fun. Rear axles are a little weak, but big deal. They've got big axles.
Oh, the Cobalt LNF LSJ guys are in here.
3800 changed my mind. I've been saying all day because everybody's been ragging on the podcast topic. If it ain't got push rods, it ain't a hot rod.
I'm sure there's plenty of people that agree with you in the chat.
JPL 2500 or 3000, definitely 3000.
All the converter. All the converter.
All the time.
That's another thing. I'm glad that he brought that up. We're actually releasing, I think, a ZZP 3500 stall.
Ooh. Big boy.
And I can't honestly ever say there's a time where you wouldn't want all the converter. I mean,
Fair.
the converter's got a lockup clutch in it, so if you're cruising, it's going to lock up. So
there's
pretty
really
much
no
3500 stall all the time. Put it in everything.
Yeah, I drove that silver car the other day, and it definitely felt good with that
Yeah.
3500 in it. Yeah.
So is that the summer thing as well?
Yeah,
Possibly?
yeah, that
Cool.
should be. We just need some drive time on the converter, make sure everything's cool. But yeah, it's just a part number ready to order. And then
Just
we'll have
testing
that.
to make sure that it's all set for our customers.
Yep. Got to put a bunch of miles on it before you drop it on the website.
Yeah.
We just want it for ourselves first. That's all.
I actually did the converter testing in my personal Bonneville. I had a Bonneville that was just like basic bolt-ons, and it made 360 wheel.
Was that the white one? You talk about the color
Black one?
all the time?
I wish. I didn't have the beautiful gold pearl Bonneville. Mine was black, but
Oh,
I put a 1200 stall in it, which was the worst decision I ever made in my life. Like 360 wheel, and you could punch it from a dead stop and not spin a tire.
really?
It would roll out about 40 feet and then light the tires all the way to the shift point. And then we tested our 2000 stall and then our 2500. And then I had a real high stall, which I believe is the 3500 that we're dropping here soon. But the 3500 was the most fun. I mean, at 40 miles an hour, you floor it, it would just annihilate the tires through first gear and then into second gear, like all the way through. It's just way more fun.
Yeah.
Your differential probably doesn't like it very much, but it definitely makes a lot more fun car.
Yeah,
Gotta pay to play.
None
you
of the
know?
65E likes it much, but just keep it cool. It'll be all right.
Yeah. And I mean, Matt always, in his centrifugal cars, since centrifugals are a little more high strung, he's always had a lot of converter in his. Like, what, 3,800?
4,000.
4,000, yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
Worked really well.
Yeah.
That's tall.
But you had to, because there's no boost down low. So if you had a 2500 stall in there, it's not going to launch.
so how do you launch like your drag car? Like, I don't know anything about launching an automatic car. Like, is there something weird to that, or is it just stand on the brakes, stand on the gas, and go?
Well, that car has a line lock, and there's a brake pressure gauge. So yeah, you take the first second to push the brake as hard as you possibly can, get it up
Build all the
as high as
pressure.
you can, and hit the line lock, so then you can kind of relax. And it just takes time. Big turbo, there's not much you can do. But I use nitrous, so
To help spool the turbo?
yeah. If you-
Barely.
if
He's
you-
got a baby kit on it.
Yeah, but if you have to launch on a timed tree and you're actually racing against
couldn't set
people,
that all up
you
in time.
can't sit and wait, so you have to use nitrous and then just tailor the shot to whatever gives you the 60 foot you're looking for.
That's pretty cool.
That is super cool.
Yeah,
you gotta-
every car has its specific style. Like on most cars, I would say a light power brake to X RPM, and then a roll into the throttle, and then you probably don't even get to go full throttle until it shifts into second.
Yep. And
On
then
our
just-
1.0 file, I try to have the part throttle shifts pretty aggressive. So like you roll, like by the time you're at like 60% throttle, it should be shifting at like 6,000, let's say. And then when it hits second gear, then you can pretty much roll into full throttle on most street tire cars. And then it shouldn't have that early shift and then downshift back to first like we used to have. But on a car with stickier tires, obviously you'll be able to power brake it a lot higher. You'll be able to roll into the throttle a little quicker. And then on a full slick car, I mean, Matt's like kind of, I believe, the king of like drag launching. I mean, if you want the best 60 foot, I mean, you hand your keys to Matt pretty much. But he just has a good ability to power brake the car and feel the tires slipping and have the perfect amount of slip speed. Because you don't want, like, you want a slip speed.
Yeah.
There needs to be a percentage of slip there.
Yeah, Elle was
But-
telling me the other day about 20-ish% is usually I mean, depending, but roughly the
Yeah.
fastest acceleration point.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's mostly prep though.
Yeah.
You have to know the track and go in with the right setup and then tailor it
You
slightly.
can change everything if it's
I also
different.
pulled the timing out in the drag car on a button. Like when I lock the line lock, it pulls out all the timing so the car doesn't make any power.
Oh.
It makes it make boost, but no power. I get up to about 8-10 pounds of boost, and then when I hit the nitrous button, it releases the line lock and puts all the timing back. So that's just automatic. You don't have to think of doing a lot of things that way.
They're all within each other's systems and everything. Yeah, that's sweet.
And I would just change the jet if I wanted to launch harder, I'd change the jet or wait till 12 pounds or whatever.
That's still a lot to think about, though, in one pass, where every drag pass I've made has been gas or whatever, shifting. Yeah. I've never pressed a button on a drag strip.
Yeah. Well, when you got a full blown 900 horsepower Grand Prix,
Changes a lot of
You
things.
have to push some buttons. Well, it's not like the old days, though. You remember running Ken's car? We had to push lots of buttons.
Jeez.
Because we didn't have ECM access yet. So,
Well, at least you guys didn't have to turn off traction control and then turn off ECS.
we had to do all kinds of stuff.
Like Digital Ken back in the day, he was an electrical whiz, so he like used his cruise control buttons for multiple
Yeah,
things.
the volume buttons for the
the
radio
stock
and
wheel.
stuff. And we could change it. I don't remember the process, but and you'd have to go in with performance shift off, otherwise it would hit the rev limiter. And then you'd shift to second, or every time you wanted to shift, you'd have to hit the button, which made your TPS read 88% instead of 100, even though you're still flooring it. So it would shift sooner. And then that would let off, and then you'd turn on the performance shift, and it's just all kinds of.
And he just handed you
But
like
we didn't know a way to get
note
into
on
the
how
PCM, so that was how we figured out how to get a pass out of the car.
Just
Yeah.
hardwired and tricked everything. And
Yeah. Yeah, and Matt is the only one that has an attention span long enough to be able to do this, because I'd be like,
Oh, I
Just
messed
pushing
up
buttons.
a few. We were trying to get that car in the 10s, and it's the last day at the track, last day of the year. It was getting late, and we'd gone 11-0 a bunch of times. And it was just one of those things. We got it all figured out. We just didn't have enough traction, so we put Zoom slicks on it, and they rubbed on the calipers. So we got out a grinder and a large power inverter and grinded on the calipers, the brackets. Got up there, 10 minutes to go in the season, and it broke the cog belt
Oh no.
on the launch. I drove back, man, we didn't make it. And Zoom's like, what are you doing? We got 10 minutes. It's like, we got to take that whole face of that kid off of there. So he's like, let's get to work. So we just 3 people wrenching on this thing.
Oh my god.
Throw a cog belt on there, drive up there. They were like, no, we're closed, we're done. And it's like, you got 1 minute. It's like, go ahead. And ripped off a 1095.
Oh.
There were no other cars there. Everybody
Back
was
what
packed
year?
up and gone.
what year was that?
I don't know, 02?
That
Maybe?
is insane.
So everyone's
01?
loading
Sounds about
up
right.
their- loading up their trailers, and you're
Oh,
just
everybody's
swapping.
gone. Most people were gone, an hour earlier. It was literally like 5 people at the track.
They must have hated you guys.
We were always there till the lights went off.
All track guys hate ZZP. Because
Not really. They left the gate open for us one time. They're like, just close and lock the gate when you guys leave. And they all left.
Because all of us would show up, we would drive in, drop our catbacks, swap our wheels and tires, cable our rear suspensions. And if any of you guys are big drag racers and you don't know about the cable mod, email Tim at ZZPerformance and I'll send you the cable mod. It's amazing.
There's a good write-up online.
Yeah.
If you just Google it, it'll come up with pictures.
All right, that works. Google cable mod
Yep.
3800. It's an amazing upgrade for you 3800 dudes. It's like it requires like a drill bit, like a 3/8 hole in like a specific spot of your car, and then like it's like a 15-minute job at the track, and you'll probably drop 2/10.
Everyone's laughing at
Ish.
the OG cable mod on Facebook.
Yeah, yeah. But anybody, if you don't know, like now you know, and like read it.
Yeah, that thing isn't going to squat when it's cabled.
No.
I
Don't
drove-
go too fast on the test drive back to your parking spot, though.
I drove the car home and forgot to take those off once from Stanton with the plastic race seat.
Oh.
No cat back. You remember Steve Mays broke his transmission and had to use the trailer? So I drove the race car home. It was
Steve
House's
Mays.
car again. Drove that home with the plastic seat.
Oh, gosh.
It started bouncing. I'm like, what the heck? So, oh, yeah. It's got cables on it.
Too late now.
Passed a cop, supercharged car with no cat back on it.
Just
Yeah, bouncing away. Skinnies on the back, slicks on the front.
Steve Mays, man. I should check in on him, find out what's going on with him.
They had a nice car.
Super nice. 40th anniversary car running like 1190s on rockers, right? 1190s on rockers, I think.
Remember that?
well,
Yeah. No cam.
I still am trying to wrap my head around the image of like 63800s rolling into a track day.
3,800 guys roll deep, man. We're talking like 15. Like, there is no other group like a 3,800 group.
Oh, there'd be 6 of us just heading from here to Milan, just in a group.
Just all cruising down the highway together.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is not much has changed. Like, you guys are out of it, but like when we go to the 3800 gathering this year in Detroit, like literally from my town of Lake Odessa, there's probably 6 or 8.
Yeah.
Like my brother and my friends, like, will be 6 or 8 deep on the way to Detroit. Plus whoever comes from here. We got another three or four cars here if you go. Like, it'll be deep.
And we got pulled over one time on the way back from Dino Day, and I think Fowlerville. Maybe it's Detroit. Doesn't matter. We got pulled over. We weren't doing anything. We were just on our way home.
Bunch of race
And
cars, yeah.
the officer said, well, you guys fit the description of the group of cars that was doing this and this and this. I'm like, sounds about right. About 200 of us just left from one place. It's like, well, it wasn't us, but I believe you.
Did he let you go then?
Yeah. We didn't do anything.
Just pulled over every group of 3800s on that strip.
Well, it fit the description, you know. Bunch of Grand Prix going 120 mile an hour down the highway.
So how was I know Matt touched on it a tiny bit. How was trips to Mexico here when you guys had the early 3800s before people knew
man.
how fast they could get here in Michigan and stuff?
It was good times.
Yeah.
Good times for
on
sure.
your way to work, just gapping
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. Yeah, my turbo car, like, that thing was fast as hell. That was, what, 2002, maybe?
I mean, there wasn't much back then. You had to be worried about
2003?
if you had 400 horsepower, like.
Oh, yeah, I'd easily pull on the Camaros and Corvettes
Yeah.
and Mustangs easily.
Yep.
That's always been a thing about a 3800 is if it's built well, it just like a 40 roll, it just punches hard. Like it comes on hard. Like you're at 100 you're done, but that 40 to 100 is always so strong, whether if it's a blower or a turbo car.
So, Steve Hickman's car, the white car with the blue bottom, pretty infamous. Everybody knows Steve Hickman. He was making like 360 wheel, NIC cam, basically full bolt-ons. That car was the most fun from like a 40 roll. He would like punch it. It would blow the tires off with smoke rolling out of both wheel wells and lay you in the seat at the same time. Like that was a fun car to ride in. Very fun car.
Yeah, one of my last races with the red car, I had a buddy of mine I graduated with bought a brand new Dodge Challenger RT, and he thought it was the fastest thing he had since,
Just bone stock.
Yeah, we did a dig, and I dusted him once, and then we were heading back, and he pulled up, and I'm like, I did the typical, just go, because it was like 40.
Go ahead, I'll catch up.
And just reeled him in and like, a gearser. And I'm like, we get back, he's like, man, that thing is so fast. I'm like, it's just works.
Yeah.
Like a 360 in a Grand Prix is just, for some reason, a lot faster than 360 in a Mustang, if that makes sense.
Well, it's a better power band.
Yeah, it really is.
JPL. Man, all seasons. Oh my God, like you guys and your no season tires. All seasons mean no season. They suck in the summer, they suck in the winter. Oh man, JPL.
I just want 12.
I was asking about the blower kit. Novi 1000 with optional 2000.
Yep.
I should probably check in on the Facebook.
I'd be intimidated if I saw 16 plus 300s. I mean, nowadays,
It still happens. Like he was saying, I mean, at the gathering and Grand Prix days, like
Yeah.
the ZZP 3800 Dyno Day. Holy crap! How many cars
Yeah.
do we have here?
200?
filled the
200.
front lot, filled the side
Maybe
lot,
100? I don't remember.
filled the dyno area.
A lot.
It was well over 100.
Yeah. I want to say it was like 250 or something. Does
There
that
was
sound
a-
right?
Yeah, sounds about right. There were so many. I was on the dyno like pretty much the whole time, but I mean, I took a couple small breaks. Yeah, they were everywhere. Like they roll deep, and they're the most loyal customers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a couple guys for like drive 12 or more hours just for a dyno day. They got.
Yeah.
It's
I think
awesome.
there was dudes longer than that even.
Oh yeah.
It was something like cross country.
A good friend of all the 3800 guys Rich, he flew in from California. Didn't even bring a car. He just flew in. Drove his rental in and said, "Hey, what's up, guys?" Surprised everybody.
Rich who? Just give him a shout out. Like, dang.
Rich Nero.
Nice. Appreciate it.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
He's been around a long time.
Yeah, hopefully he comes to the one
Oh,
this summer,
He'll be here.
assuming everything
Um,
happens with that.
And back on just the roll deep, I sold some parts to a couple buddies last fall, and I can't remember what they were picking up. Just some basic 3800 parts, and four 3800s pulled into my driveway. I didn't even know. They're like, "Yep, we knew we'd swing by and pick up some parts. We're heading over here and do this." And it was like they just picked up some used parts for me, but there was 4 guys all driving separate. And I was like, "Heck yeah, man!" I had just gotten off work. I started up my Buick. We did some fucking 40 rolls. Went out to the ethanol plant, filled up. Like, it was just a good time on a Tuesday night. Like no other platform you'll get that with. Like, Mustang guys just don't do that when they sell a set of headers. It was great. It was like one of the best little meets I had all summer on a Tuesday. Didn't even expect it.
Yeah.
Selling parts. Matt, you got any good street racing stories come to mind?
Yeah, there was a couple times just cruising around with Zoom, and I'd be in my car or in the Monte Carlo. It was my wife's car at the time. And I remember someone coming and cutting me off in a Trans Am to get up next to Zoom because his car looked all ricey. And I'm like,
Shopping
what
cart
the
race.
heck, man? This guy just cuts me off. And so I see he wants to race Zoom. So I'm like, okay, I move over and get behind Zoom because that's going to be the lane to be in. And they kick down, and their Zoom's just pulling him, just walking him. And then I'm walking him, and I'm waving to him out the window.
The car behind, yeah.
Yeah, and he's, what? I'm losing to more cars than the one I'm racing. We had another one right at a stoplight. We got 3 wide. Guy, same thing. He hurries up to get up next to Zoom, and I can take the 3rd lane. And we were neck and neck, me and Zoom on the outside lanes, and he was,
Gone.
6 buses back in about 2 gears. Had a few of them like that.
Yeah.
You don't really get that anymore.
No, it's rare.
Well, like I said, anymore, no new Mustang, even a 5.0, wants to race a Grand Prix. Because he's either going to lose and be extremely embarrassed, or he's just too cool.
Well, even you were going off of how you kind of got into the 3800s in high school.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when I was in high school, we all raced our
Yeah, that's actually
60
probably...
horsepower Civics.
Yeah,
and
that's
everything.
why I wanted a
Yeah.
Grand Prix, because you could get it and it'd be the fastest car. I had a buddy who had a Mustang.
Yeah, you were the shit
And
in
if
high school parking
I knew
lot.
if I got a Grand Prix, I'd be faster than his Mustang, even if I didn't do anything to it, So,
Yeah, like 3800 started ZZP because it was the easiest way for the 40-something-year-old dude to sneak a mod car into the family without the wife knowing.
it still is.
Like, there were so many dudes that would call me up back in the day, like, and be like, all right, I need this and this mod, and I'd be like, what's your phone number? And they'd be like, yeah, don't call me, it might be the wife. And I'm like, all right. So I had like special notes that I put on everybody's account. Like, if you call, make sure to start with this and ask for this and, not lead on to anything. But yeah, it was an easy way for a 45-year-old dude that has a wife and a couple kids to sneak a mod car into the family. Mm-hmm. Let's say it's a 4-door Grand Prix GTP. It's
Front wheel drive.
you and your wife can drive it. Your wife can drive it. You can drive it. It gets 30 miles a gallon. You can fit 2 or 3 of your kids in the back. You can add a mod to it once a week, and the wife never notices. Mm-hmm. Like,
You can put the big pulley on it when she's driving it.
you could, or she just might not ever give it enough gas to know.
Yeah.
Like, it was a great car back in the day. Like in like Matt said earlier, like that car was way ahead of its time. The nice sloping, like nice dash, the good-looking gauge cluster. I mean, the build quality of the car was high. It
I
was
just
a
remember
very
that.
nice car.
Was it the tire pressure thing they had on the dash or
The
something?
DIC, yeah.
I thought
Yeah,
that was
that
the
was-
coolest thing in high
Yeah.
school. Yeah.
Well, it's just like
Yeah.
Pontiac's saying, driving excitement. And it was.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Still is.
Like, that, like, perfect. The wide track.
Yeah.
Wide track.
They
You know?
marketed it very well.
Sure did.
Is that what they called it? Wide drive?
Yeah, holy crap! Oh my
I've never
gosh,
heard that.
I just dated myself. Trevor doesn't know about the wide track. That was how they marketed that car. I don't
Wider.
even know how it compared.
Wider is better was their slogan.
Yes. Like, and was it even much wider?
And it didn't handle much better. But
It definitely was a common choice for bigger dudes too.
Yes.
It fit bigger people in it than most cars.
Yeah, have you seen
Comfortably.
Terrell Smith? He's a big guy.
yeah,
And he
He's
has a
six-
couple Grand Prix.
he's 6'20", I think.
6'20".
Something like that. But yeah, I mean, you could comfortably drive that car. You can take and hand the keys to your wife of your 11-second daily driver, and she'll drive it and potentially not even know it runs 11s or complain about it.
Yeah, especially if you kept it quiet. But you're not going to do that with our new equal length exhaust.
I mean, it could be quiet, but why keep it quiet when it sounds like a freaking Supra?
So good.
Yeah. It is
It has the same amount of cylinders as a Supra.
Yeah.
different configuration, but we'll let that slide.
Well, when you line them up just right, don't really matter what configuration they're in.
That's what that guy says. Yes.
Cool.
Man,
Well,
the HV3 is brought up again.
Yeah,
man. We're working on it, man.
there are a lot of guys.
We'll have to get on Cooling about that.
Yeah, Tim Cooling is the R&D design guy for the HV3. It is a necessary product for sure.
Oh yeah, especially for the naturally aspirated guys who are trying to get the best bang for their buck without putting boost to it,
Yeah,
which isn't always a bad thing.
Can we call it the 4?
I like
probably,
that. That's a great idea.
HV4.
most likely. Yeah, the HV1 was plagued with install issues. That was actually a plate that bolted in between the upper and lower intake manifold, and nobody could install that thing without it leaking.
Yeah.
And then the HV2, and then I don't even remember what the HV1 was. And then the HV3 was completely inside, but then that was a really tight fit, and it didn't work on 100% of all the upper intake manifolds. But I would imagine the HV4, let's probably call it, will fit inside the intake similar to the others. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it'll be poured or if it'll be milled, CNC'd.
I'm thinking it's going to be milled, CNC'd. From what I heard from Cooling.
That's cool.
Either way, I'm sure we'll test it.
Yeah, I guess
Figure out
while we're
the
talking
best
about intake stuff, I did want to mention that I've seen a couple people not realize our new 2.5 intercooler system for Gen 3 and Gen 5 blower, you do not need to modify your lower intake manifold anymore. Because I've seen a couple people cutting it out and running our 2.5, and it literally goes right on you don't even got to take the intake manifold off
Yep.
anymore.
Yep, that was another one of those products like I mentioned earlier about how the shop across the street was making it for us, and now that is 100% in-house.
Yeah.
And,
Improved,
obviously, every time we design we redesign a product, it's better than the last. So now, yeah, you can bolt it in with no modifications.
Alex says, can I get the banner? I assume he's talking about this one. We didn't even mention. We stepped up our game. Thanks to Eric. He made our podcast look all nice. We aren't selling those, though, but if enough people want them, let us know. We could.
Yeah, email customer service at ZZPerformance.com.
We need to get a new one out front, too.
JPL's asking about the cog belt. It ran a remote drive tube to the driver's side of the engine and then ran the blower off the cog belt.
Mm-hmm.
It's the easiest way to transfer it over there.
We're
Yeah.
at about an hour, so
Yeah.
everyone get your last questions in. My phone actually just died, so if you want to go through Facebook, see
Yeah.
if there's any more.
Restocking the L36 supercharger kit, yeah, for sure. We'll definitely have that. I'm not
We had a
exactly sure what we're missing on that product right now, but
Yeah,
I'm sure
so-
we'll have it back in stock.
We had a little hiccup with the powder coater. the sandblaster. He sandblasted all of the wrong places on the snouts. So we couldn't install the bearings properly. So we had to get another batch of snouts over to him. So
it's just delayed.
Just delayed. We're working on it. We got like 10 or 15 ready. It's just delayed because of a powder coating or sandblasting incident there.
Yeah, Joel, just hit the in-stock reminder tab on the website. You'll get emailed when they're back, and then you'll have first dibs, so definitely do that.
Yeah, in-stock reminders are very useful.
Very useful.
Yeah.
Especially with COVID times and stuff.
A lot of our
being out
products
stock.
sell out as soon as they hit the website, so don't wait.
Which we did just get a huge shipment in today. So a lot of exhaust products, right? Will be back in stock, like the power logs and some other stuff, good stuff. So if you've been waiting on a certain something, make sure to check in next week sometime.
I mean, it'd be a good time to check in now and set the reminder.
That's
and
a
then when
great
they're
point.
live.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know a lot of you are getting your tax returns and planning your mod list with that, so.
It is that time. I know a couple of our employees received their tax returns, and I've also seen a pretty high increase in sales lately. So that means that Matt and I have a bunch of remote tunes to do. So be ready for that.
Every day.
Didn't really get a break this year.
Nope.
No,
No rest for the wicked. Gotta
No.
go fast.
remote tunes. But I do want to say remote tunes is busy as it keeps Al, Matt, and myself. Really are the best way. A 1.0 tune is great. It's great for a basic bolt-on car, but no mail order tune is ever as good as a remote tune. So, like, a 1.0 tune would be great. Buy it, install it, run it, and then pick up HP tuners, borrow a friend's HP tuners, and do maybe a PCM update or something.
Yep.
Send your file in to scan to Matt, Al, or myself, depending on what platform it is. Obviously, when you buy the PCM update, it'll forward it to the right person, and your car will perform better.
Yeah.
No matter what. I mean, I've been trying to dial our 1.0 in for the 3800 for years, and
20 years.
Al for the Ecotec, the LSJ, and Matt for the LNF.
Speak of the devil.
We continue to dial the files in better and better, but it's never as good as like a remote tune based on your scan, your octane, your mod list.
Yeah.
Al, do you want to give
actually-
your quick 2 cents on how much you love 3800
Stick your big head in here. Son.
rear drives? If you sit next to Tim, they'll hear just fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I do have a large head.
Yeah, on the remote tune. That's actually.
What about 3800s?
How bad you want a Firebird?
Hold on. I saw you shit, and that was unfairly portrayed. It was like, I would accept a 3800 if it was in a Trans Am. I didn't say I wanted a 3800. There's a difference.
Just if it comes with it.
Be honest. How about this? What if a friend had a 3800 Firebird and they were like, you can drive it whenever you want? There you go.
No. The key is, once we, all of a sudden, after 20 years, even though we already knew how, finally made them sound decent, it's just like one of the tiny little toggle switches in my brain clicked, and it's like, maybe this could be a viable swap.
Yeah.
Well, the first part of that is true. We figured that out, so your prayers are answered.
And
I would
it's just
still,
like,
You were going to turbo it anyway.
well, yeah, that's true.
It's still going to sound the same.
Matt's like, mine sounds awesome. What are you guys talking about?
The other week when we were talking about it on the podcast, there was people that were saying like, "Oh no, that's impossible." And
No.
there was some thread on one of the Facebook groups where they like mathed out the angle of each combustion event, like it's impossible. Like, does everyone think every video of Matt's car is fake? Like,
We just dub in a Supra.
we're just dumbing a Supra
Yeah.
on every single video, every time you get the car out.
Yeah,
thing is
Matt
amazing.
has the best sounding 3800. I mean, obviously it makes more power than our, pretty much every 3800. But,
Really?
yeah.
Except for that one in Australia.
Maybe.
But
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
stateside
it
is
probably
probably
makes
number
more
one.
power, just doesn't put it all the way to the
That's
tires.
what I was gonna say.
Which
That
is-
very well could
There you
make
go.
more power at the crank.
That one's probably
Just
fake
can't
too,
measure
though.
it.
That one's probably fake too, though. So.
Probably. That one sounds bad though.
Your minds are all going to be blown. Your minds are all going to be blown, and you're going to be able to buy the part from us that can make your car sound like it. And everybody's going to say we're full of crap and that it's impossible. And then they're going to buy the part, and then they're going to be like, "Holy crap!"
We all
And
thought it
then
was impossible too. That's why it took this long.
and then everybody that sold their 3800 is going to buy another one. And then just for this mod,
This exhaust is legit job security for us all.
Yeah.
pretty much.
What's cool is it's also possible to run on a factory manifold. You don't even have to do any exhaust
The
modifications.
coolest thing is if you put it in your kit car, Fiero base 3800, it'll actually sound like it's supposed to.
Yes. And there was a guy earlier that mentioned 3800 Fiero. Yes, this can work in that as well.
it'll work in anything
It will
except
sound
F-body.
like a Ferrari or other exotic, whatever you're going for.
Next week we'll have a sound
Okay,
clip
well,
out for
I
everybody.
want to.
I would 100% rock a Fiero 3800. That's like my 1 week spot for the 3800.
Yeah, that's why I came up here, but then I got
Like,
here.
seriously, this customer that had his car here that's tuned for E85 put gas in his car and then brought it here.
A little behind the scenes for you guys.
It
Hi,
happens.
welcome to season.
Oh yeah, we've seen it all on remote tunes. Hey man, I don't know what's going on, but your fuel trims are way off. Are you sure this is 93? No. I threw 85 in it just to see.
Gee, thanks.
You
Just to see.
should have told me that.
Just to see what happened, though.
Yeah.
You know? No big
What
deal.
happened is it didn't run very well, and now I have to change your tune. It's every day.
So we're working on fixing that right now.
Hey customers. If your car is not flex fuel, please ask us, is my car flex fuel? And if it is not flex fuel, don't put gas in it if you're tuned for E85 or vice versa. If it's
Or if you have a turbo or supercharged car, just run 93.
Yeah, it actually
No matter
says it
who
in the
tells
gas
you.
cap door. Premium only. Premium is 93. Or 91, depending on
my car doesn't run good. That's what they do. And then we have to like just figure it out. But why are your fuel trims 30% off? I don't know. And then you like I don't know, go through the testing, the ZZP testing to figure out what it is. Why does it smell like this, but it's tuned like this, or something along those lines? Oh, well, the last time my girlfriend, my wife, or just flat out me in this situation did something else to it. How are we supposed to figure this out, people?
So I'm gonna go finish up that project.
Terrell says, Tim was the reason I found out my fuel system was sugared.
Was sugar?
Yeah, I do remember that situation. I don't know. What did you do? What did you do? Somebody was mad because you made so much power.
Scott.
Won a race and someone followed him home and poured something in the gas tank.
Something.
Yeah, he's got an all new plastic gas tank now in it now.
Well, there's some weight savings
Yeah.
and some added capacity.
We sell the gas caps, the E85 ones, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
for
if you
some
switch to
applications.
E85, just get one of those. And nobody will ever mess it up.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I used to have to steal those from the junkyard. Now you can just buy them from ZZP.
Purchase them from the junkyards, of course.
I mean, they're
Just like
That's one of the entrance fee things, right?
or just at a random Walmart. You know, just
I was just there last week. Was it last week? Or this week? It was earlier this week. And there's still like 4 rows of Grand Prix in there. It's crazy. Those
Yeah.
cars just don't stop.
you can basically build a full bolt-on 3800 by just stopping by your local junkyard these days because The last time I was down there was power logs, downpipe, and a Borla catback with a 3/4 pulley and a tune. I'm like, whoa! Wish I needed any of this.
It is.
No,
fun
I'm
to
not telling you
walk
where it
down
was.
And look at all the PCMs and see all the ZZP stickers.
Yeah, that's what's funny is me and the receiving guy were laughing on. We got 2 core returns this week that were 1.0 PCMs.
So much, yeah. That happens so often. So often. It's crazy. Steve Lowe, I see your question. Feel free to email me. I'll definitely help you out.
Yeah, email customer service ZZP. Just mention Tim. We'll shoot it to you.
Yep.
Got any more on Facebook, Bo?
Uh-uh.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys don't have anything to add, we're pretty much good to wrap up here.
Yeah, keep on keeping on with your 3800.
Oh yeah, everyone,
We'll
let us know what you're
keep on
doing.
as well.
Let us know what you want to hear next week. Thanks everyone for coming on. I
Yeah.
think that's about it. So
Ooh.
thanks for hanging out.
Ooh. Silkmaster, he's responding like he might have heard the video. Like maybe he heard.
The second time it was played.
Nice.
It
Okay.
did work the second time.
Nice. Great.
We'll get some better exhaust stuff.
For sure.
Yeah.
Wide open throttle cruising.
Pay
Yeah.
attention to social media. It'll be real soon.
Yeah, we made a video and then we came back and found out the mic was
Yeah.
terrible. So
We're trying.
we'll do it again.
We can
We'll release a better
build
video.
it. We just sometimes can't record it.
We had
Yeah.
a GoPro issue that was
Yeah, we're gonna blame the
not
GoPro.
favorable.
Yeah. Right on. Any last words, Matt?
Nope.
Are we gonna
All
see the
set.
black car out this year?
Of course.
Black car?
Hopefully do Metro Cruise again. Yeah, I
Yeah.
have like 6 black cars, but I know when you.
Ah, sorry. Yeah.
Literally
fair
all of them but one are
They
black.
they do call him Batman for a reason.
Do you have a strong preference of black? I guess I never even put that together. Your truck's not black.
No, the truck was a really good deal.
Yeah.
I remember the first day you got the truck.
I
I was like, how do you like it? And you're like, it's not black.
I had 6 black trucks in a row.
Wow.
Now red one. I couldn't pass it up.
Yeah, it's-
$325 a month for
It's a super.
an
nice
18.
The color's sweet too.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's a nice truck.
truck. Yeah, whenever you want to sell it, it'll match my Regal. Look good towing it.
Oh, cool.
Cool,
Well,
guys.
Thanks anyways. See you guys next week, 4 o'clock. Every week. Just plan on it. So that's about it. Thanks guys.
Sounds good.
Great.
been a
See you guys.
pleasure.
Have a good weekend.